Hey everybody, this is Mac with IC Cup TV, bringing you one of the round of 128 from the Global Gamers Invitational. This match is between the Red Terran ReconNine and his opponent CowFu. We are on Kulas Ravine. Pretty big deal for both of these players. They are competing for one of the top 4 slots in this qualifying round to compete against the pros. So only 4 of 128 will make it through, but they will have their names immortalized alongside all of the famous names on the scene right now. So far ReconNine going for a very, very early scout. 2 SCVs in fact moving out. So unsurprising in a big pool like this, players thinking of cheesing early on. Wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see some sort of proxy something, but I could be mistaken. So supply depot going down for ReconNine and a very, very, very early scout. Meanwhile, his opponent CowFu having a close proximity supply depot, probably concerned about harass and economic efficiency, keeping all his buildings tight, no wall off. My guess is both players are indeed Terran, not random, so they know the matchup. No incentive to wall off in that case, and a scout coming out from CowFu as well. So far income, not much divergence since both players playing more or less equal builds, just different scouting times. And it looks like both players are going to be taking the long route around, so we will not be getting good scouting from either players, not for a little while at least. Barracks going up for ReconNine, a nice quick wall off there, and a barracks coming up for CowFu. He will also be able to wall off with a second supply depot if he so desires. We got Vespian gas going down for both, so no real difference in their builds right now. Will be interesting to see what both players decide to do. Given that this is a very Terran-friendly map with lots of high ground, I wouldn't be surprised if both players focus primarily on air and siege tanks. Of course, that is typical for all Terran versus Terran games, but it is even more so with the terrain of Kulas Ravine. And the scout from ReconNine finally arriving. Looks like he's going to try and harass. No, he is just going to go inside, get a look around. Unfortunately, not much to see this early on in the game. He didn't even get close enough to take a look at the refinery, so maybe he will get on the second pass. Looks like he will. Oh no, he still is not going to see that refinery, so what little information he could have gained looks like won't matter quite yet. We do have a tech lab coming down from CowFu, so we could see Reapers or early Marauders. Meanwhile, ReconNine's wall-off is complete, just pumping Marines, and he has laid down a factory, so ReconNine most likely going to be playing a air or mech build, but CowFu so far just going Marauders with the production tab up just to see what's going on. And it looks like an earlier orbital command, no, same time orbital command from both players, so ReconNine definitely showing a more robust build at this point in time. CowFu is, he's sitting on an awful lot of minerals, tons of resources, isn't actually training units, just getting that economy up and running, but too much excess money, and he does not have a large harvester difference. So looking like CowFu may be the weaker of the 2 players, but I have eaten my words before, so don't take that as a certain thing. ReconNine now laying down a starport and a tech lab on his factory, so that tech lab definitely states that he is intending to either do a float off with the factory or produce mech units. A fast expansion coming out from CowFu, that is why we had extra resources. Still too much minerals and gas, and he could be in trouble by an early timing attack. And he has very, very limited information about his opponent. He just sees that wall off, has no idea about the tech. Meanwhile, ReconNine is aware of the first gas, but there's nothing else to see at this point in time. There is a factory coming down for CowFu. So early expansion, factory coming out, and still producing Marines out of this single barracks. No Marauders or Reapers. And ReconNine just massing Marines, now producing siege tanks, but no siege tech at this point in time, and a starport with the tech lab, so we're probably going to see Banshees and or siege tanks coming out pretty fast from ReconNine. We still not seeing anything yet. There's that siege tech, most likely waiting on the gas for a Banshee or an additional siege tank. We'll have to see what he does with those. It is indeed going to be the Banshee, so Banshees and siege tanks coming out early in the game. Meanwhile, CowFu, now that he has his fast expansion, throwing up that starport, same as his opponent, and is producing Marauders. A bunker would be very prudent at this point in time. He is researching those concussive shells, but an early push from Banshees will definitely overwhelm these few Marines, and siege tanks could also really throw his opponent for a loop. Looks like he did just finish the concussive. He didn't cancel it. So here comes that siege tank. Siege tech not coming. Meanwhile, we do have a mass of one siege tank, a Hellion, a few Marines, and a Banshee. So I expect we're going to be getting an early push of some sort from ReconNine. He is getting that cloaking field for the Banshees. So if this doesn't go well, he will have the option to cloak, force his opponent to waste a lot of resources to detect cloaked Banshees. And it looks like ReconNine is going to hide his Banshee in this corner in case his opponent decides to scan. And he really doesn't need to press this advantage pretty soon, because eventually this second expansion is going to yield a benefit. Right now, no difference in harvesters, but very soon a single base will begin to saturate, and a second base will be better. So we'll have to see how that evolves. We are getting Vikings out of CowFu, which will go very, very well against any Banshee harass. Also useful for scouting, and there's that first scan. Now ReconNine going to see his opponent's tech. I wouldn't be surprised if CowFu scans in return. He gets a good look there too, sees every relevant tech building. And there is that counter scan right on cue. He is also going to see his opponent's starport and factory, and these are just supply depots, but he does not catch these units, I don't think. I didn't quite get a hold of that. Let's try that again. He did not catch these units, so he doesn't know about that. He does have this Viking to see any early push out, so good forward scout there. Excellent play by CowFu, and he is continuing to saturate this expansion, massing units in defense. So now suddenly the game's looking pretty good for CowFu, but here come two Banshees. They are cloaked, and there are no Vikings nearby, and not enough energy to scan, so a bunch of SCVs definitely going to go down here. Still, no Vikings being produced. No response whatsoever coming back. This Viking isn't even moving. Here comes one Marine, a single Marine, but all of these SCVs getting torn apart. That is 8 SCV kills so far. That Marine is shooed away, and it looks like a Banshee harass is probably going to shut down CowFu pretty fast. There is finally one Viking. Thank goodness he has his other base, but these SCVs just sitting here, not going to the secondary base. They're going to get shot down, stuck behind this barracks, and CowFu going to lose almost every single one of his SCVs for absolutely no reason. This Banshee harass far too effective against a Terran opponent. This isn't a harass, this is an outright slaughter. Looks like 8 and 12, so 20 SCVs and Marine kills. I don't think ReconNine can lose the game now. The only way his opponent is going to win is a quick push now, but looking at this, no way. And there it is, CowFu, honestly not expecting Banshees, calls good game. ReconNine takes it. So ReconNine is better than half the players in this tournament. He is moving on to the round of 64, and CowFu is sent packing. So that was your first game. My first game casted of the series. A ton more to come in the in the following week. So keep tuning in, and until next time, have a good one.